You said focus. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 12th edition of Life, Laughter and Lockdown. Guys, I shall wait for you to make your way over to this page where it is happening live today at 4 o'clock my time. If you're in the UK, it will be 5 o'clock your time. Apologies for the late start. I needed to wait for my faithful assistant who had a very important engagement and I couldn't do it without her. So, this is where we are. KB, thank you for joining us. I think today's the first time that you've joined us on this broadcast, if my memory serves me correctly. I don't think I've seen you on here, but great to have you. So this is the 12th edition of Life, Laughter and Lockdown. So this was put together to give people some encouragement, some inspiration, a place to let off steam if you need to. We've had some very interesting topics. I don't know if we'll subject ourselves to having to repeat all of them again. That just depends how I'm feeling. But thank you for joining, Aisha. It's so great to have you on here. I think every day you've been on here and it's been amazing. So thank you for that. Stephanie, yes, you have been on here as well. And we're going to have an interesting conversation today. It's Easter, so happy Easter to all of you. Happy Good Friday. So this conversation, whether you're religious or not, it would be nice to just kind of be in the spirit of things. Hello, Evelyn. I'm glad you guys could join because I know that I pushed this back an hour. KB says, yes, it is my first time in the live version. Okay, cool. Hi, Anita. How are you? Always good to have Anita on here who shares every single one of these. Hint, hint. So, guys, if you can share this broadcast, if you can hit the notification bell. Hi, Kiru. Kiru is like my sister. Kiru is my sister. So thank you for joining today. Guys, so actually, let me ask you guys how you're feeling. How is everyone feeling today? If you're feeling good, give me a heart. As in, just press the heart and it will just, show on this broadcast. If you're feeling good today, give me a heart. Or however it is you're feeling. If you're feeling sad, if you're not feeling too great today, if you need a little bit of TLC, you're in the right place. This is the right episode to join. I've seen a few hearts there, which I think belong to Aisha. You're going to have to read out some of these. I think that's Kiru saying, I have been missing you. Yes, New York is, oh, wow, I didn't know you were in New York, my love. Well, you keep safe, as I'm sure you're already doing. Marion has joined, Mystic Meg has joined, and Anita says, hi, dear Lisan, happy Good Friday to you all. Tired but good. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're resting. So, guys, thank you very much for joining. So, here we are today, 12th episode of Life, Laughter and Lockdown. And we are talking about sacrifice. Okay, so what is it about sacrifice and love? I think we are kind of in a nice little trend of what we have been discussing. We've spoken about friendship. We spoke about managing conflict yesterday, which I was actually hoping to do a part 2 of that because there seemed to be a lot of information that you guys were, asking for and some very interesting comments that I thought would be helpful to be able to address them. But today is Good Friday, so I thought, let's do something in the spirit of Good Friday. And let's talk about love and let's talk about sacrifice as well. So, recapping a little bit and touching on some of the other topics concerning, love and friendship. And we spoke about betrayal, because I think it's difficult to speak about love and not mention betrayal. That it kind of leads us into a nice place to talk about what real love looks like and what sacrifice looks like within that space. So today being Good Friday, we know, most of us went to Sunday school. Those of us that didn't, even in school, because we're old, these were some of the things that were discussed these were some of the things that we discussed in school. And we know that Christ gave his life as a sacrifice for the world. So I want to talk about sacrificial love. Hi, Malcolm. Thanks for joining. Hi, Lamine Evans, Sister Abla, Marion. Thank you guys for joining today. I want to talk about love and what love means to you. Love to me is a selfless act that doesn't look for anything in return beyond what you can give. That is what love means to me. I'd be very interested to hear your definitions of love your personal definitions of love, not a biblical definition or a philosophical definition, but what does love mean to you personally in your own words? If you could put that in the comments box. My faithful assistant, Yaba. Hi, Emissy. Hi, Liz. Hi, Patricia. She will read out your comments, and then we can have a bit of a discussion about that, because people have different versions or different ideas of what they think love is. And I think my background in helping, hi Peter, my background in supporting, victims of domestic violence and other forms of abuse. Hi Efwa for joining. Hi Efwa, thank you for joining, I mean to say. And Peter, sorry, you've got to forgive my eyes. People have different definitions of it. So for example, a man can claim to love a woman, but he's cheating on her, he's beating her, he is emotionally abusing her, and to him, that is love. The fact that that may not fit our definition, that's what they believe to be love. There are women who are beaten by their partners, and if they're not, they claim that the men don't really love them if they don't beat them. Believe you me, you might feel it sounds strange, but it happens. So what does love mean to you? Love for me is something that is gentle, it's something that is safe, it's something that feels good. And I think when love stops feeling good, and I mean a relationship kind of love, you need to kind of look at the reasons why it doesn't feel good and look at what it is that you want to change about that. And also look at the fact that if you want to change something, but you can't, what is it that's holding you back, and what is it that is not enabling you to feel empowered to make choices about whom you love and who loves you? Now, it's quite interesting because I've heard people say, for example, you can't help who you fall in love with. I've never believed that saying. I think you can help who you fall in love with. I think that you can control your emotions if you're in touch with them enough to know when to fall into safe love, because some love is not safe. So, for example, because I don't believe I'm superhuman, and few people are, there's certain boundaries that I would have for myself within my marriage or, in a relationship. So, for example, I would not entertain certain conversations and certain relationships if I was in a relationship. Because when you do that, and if there's problems within the relationship, you'll find yourself slipping into an area that you didn't actually anticipate. And this is where people say, oh, though I'm sleeping with my best friend's husband, I couldn't help it, it just happened. Nothing just happens. Everything has a process. And it's a question of being conscious enough and reflective enough to realise where it is you're going and setting the right boundaries. Do we have any comments?
Yes. Aisha Ankara says love is selfless.
Yes.
Kiru.
Yes.
Abdi says love is giving to others even when you don't have enough and not expecting anything back.
That is love. And I love that definition, even when you don't have enough. And I think, and that, we're going to touch on sacrificial love, and I've just given, one type of love. There's what we call agape love, which is not a romantic love, but it's a love that you would have for your brother, a love that you would have for humanity, a love that you would have that would move you to go beyond your call of duty, so to speak. You'll do something for another human being to deny that involves you even denying yourself. So they're all the different kinds of love and sacrifice that we're going to speak about, and kind of be a bit self-reflective during this talk and see whether we have been given that kind of love. Is there something that's missing? Is there something more that we can do? Because sometimes we get complacent and we get comfortable, or there's so many things happening around us that we don't ever get in a place where we look at ourselves and think, am I giving enough? Am I even happy? And I'm very much a person that takes time out to think, to assess, and to plan. And that's why I did one of these episodes on creating space. And I spoke a lot about, getting in the right headspace, taking time out for yourself, being able to concentrate on the things that are important to you, being able to center yourself, and sometimes to get your emotions back in the right place. So I've seen a few comments pop up. Let us see what everybody is saying. You know what it is. We do this with the dog. So please don't catch him. So yeah, what I would do, because we're just trying to get the little doggy under control, let me just welcome some of you for joining. So Faith, thank you for joining. Kate, thank you for joining. Nana Amofa, thank you for joining. So yes, I would just like to hear some of your definitions of love, and I can see that some of you have put your comments here, and I'm going to try and read one from, let me see. So yeah, but we need you to read
we have a comment from Auntie Anita. She says, I like your definition. Mine involves the ability to love the seemingly unlovable and understanding the core of an individual, accepting someone, warts and all. It also involves being patient.
100%. And Yab and I have had some amazing conversation this afternoon, and it touches very much on what we were talking about just loving people for who they are, and that when you love people, it moves them to change. And please, I'm not talking about a domestic violence kind of situation that the man is beating the living daylights out of you, but if you love him enough, he's going to stop. I'm not talking about that kind of love. I'm talking about that kind of love where, you are able to be in control of your own emotions, that you don't compromise or sacrifice yourself emotionally or mentally to help somebody along their way. So, for example, I may have a friend, well, I do have friends, or I have people that I'm working with, and there is an element of love there because I am willing them to be able to be the best version of themselves that they can be, which is not at a cost to me personally. So let's be very clear when I'm talking about loving people and getting the best out of them. Okay, and we have that with our children. Sometimes our kids can be a pain in the arse, let's be honest, but we love them to the point where we give them that space to make their mistakes, but we're always there for them. So that's the kind of love that I'm talking about. Over to you.
Okay, Nana F. Amofa says, love is doing or caring or giving from the heart without expecting anything in return just because you care.
Yeah, I like that.
Even Edulaye just says unconditional love.
Yep.
And then my mom says, love is a decision, a choice. It's more than an emotion for me. This may sound controversial, but I truly believe this. It's not simply about butterflies in the tummy for me.
Your mum is absolutely right, and her mum is Yemisi Parker, I'll say on here. Yes, and I will say that from a marital perspective. Love isn't just about feeling, it is about a decision. It's about saying that I have decided that I am going to love you regardless. And for those of you who have been married or are married, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to this, that it's not every day that you wake up that you love your husband. It is not every day that you wake up that you love your wife. But you have made a decision because you've made a vow that I am going to love you regardless. And when you keep yourself in that headspace, you know that you're not heading for the divorce court. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Does it sound controversial? Yes, for those that don't understand that type of love. But having been married, I understand that type of love. And one thing that I have always said in any relationship that I have been in is that even when you're angry, I should feel loved. And I think that's really important, that love is a decision, it is a conscious thing, and it is something that really does require you to tap into your own feelings as well. But yes, most certainly it is a decision. So thank you very much for that. That's a really important comment. Anybody else?
Yes, Stephanie Binder says, love is unconditional affection that expects nothing in return.
Yes.
And Anita says again, love also involves taking delight in others.
Yes, I like that actually. So, celebrating other people as well, which I think is really true, because we spoke about, the friendship, on the friendship episode, we spoke about celebrating others, being able to detect whether you have a good friendship, i.e., do you have, sorry, but I don't know, Frisky's going crazy today, that, having a friend that you can celebrate, and if you're not able to celebrate, how does that show up for you? What does that tell you about that person? Which is very, very true. Because if you love your friend, you would want to celebrate them. If you love your friend, you would want to be able to show them that their progress in life is a blessing for you as well as them. So yes, I do agree with that. Anyone?
Patricia Cody. She says, being truthful, transparent, and genuinely caring about the needs of the other person without expecting any benefit.
And I'm going to just kind of put this out there because a lot of you have given your definition of love and have spoken very much about the fact that you're not expecting anything in return. Would I be controversial in saying that we are giving these definitions, but do we really do this? Do we really love in this way? When no one else is watching, and I think I've done a talk on that before, not on Facebook, but when nobody else is watching, do we really believe that definition of love, that we do things and we don't expect things in return? I mean, I am not perfect. I'm not, but I am going to say something because it's just honest, and I'm going to be honest with you. There's times where I've done things for people and I haven't remembered. They've reminded me, and I'm not going to give an example because I don't want it to look, a bit whatever. But I haven't remembered. I don't know why that is. Some of the stuff has been you'd expect me to remember, put it that way. So I'm just putting it out there. Do you really love in this way? And for those of us that don't, why not? And I'm not saying that you should love in a way that is reckless, i.e. love in a way that, everybody can use you and you come away feeling used, because that's not healthy. Because one thing about love is it should be healthy. It's very, very important that we should love healthily, i.e. it shouldn't have a negative impact on you emotionally or mentally or make you feel that you have lost a part of yourself. That's not love. Any comments?
Okay. Abla Jifa Gomashi says she agrees with Yemisi Pakose on the fact that love is a decision. Malcolm Pryor says, love to me is going out of my way to encourage, support, provide pleasure, and make others happy and feel good about themselves, purely for the pleasure I get to see them succeed in their lives.
And that's beautiful. And that is love. It's not difficult to do because when we receive it, it does feel good. So as we receive it, we must give it. And if we're not receiving it, still give it. Because it's not everywhere that where you go, that the way in which you love is going to be reciprocated, or the way you support or the way you celebrate is going to be given back to you. How much time do I have left? Because I feel the time has just gone like that.
0 minutes.
Wow.
I've done 17 minutes.
I had a feeling that the time does go really quickly, and I know after this broadcast, Anita Agre is going to phone me and blast me that they're too short. But very quickly, let's touch on sacrificial love. Some of you have made, comments, as I said, about not expecting anything in return. That's the sacrifice element of love. Having to deny yourself, having to go without, having to share the little that you have. And during this lockdown, I've seen that people have done that. I know people that have, given money to charity. I know people that have offered to go and help elderly people go and get their shopping in. Why is it a sacrifice? Because they could be doing something else, because they may not have a car. It may not be convenient for them. They may have a car and not have enough petrol, but the little that they have, they choose to share that with somebody else to make them feel good. So, there's not a lot of time left, so I'm going to have to leave it here. But I just hope that these little nuggets of wisdom, of encouragement is actually, encouraging you and helping us to look at our lives, from a different lens and seeing what we can do differently as people. And really, take time out, go and watch the Creating Space episode and look at, sorry guys, I'm moving my neck really weird because I've got a terrible trapped nerve in my neck, which because of social distancing, I can't get a massage. So so do bear with me. I'm sure you're wondering what's wrong with me, but that's the reason. And, just get back in that space and self-reflect. It's really important, even if you take 10, 15 minutes out every day to just go somewhere quiet, or even while you're in the shower, hopefully you shower every day, and while you're showering, just get in tune with yourself, be silent and think and look at the little things that you could do better, things that you could change, and the things that would be a blessing to you and a blessing to others. So, happy Easter, everybody. I think the ultimate sacrifice, for those of you that do believe in Christ, in John 3:16, it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed in him would not perish but have everlasting life." That is sacrificial love. The fact that you have one child and you're prepared to give them as a sacrifice. The fact that you are prepared to love people that you know are not going to love you, but you're going to love them anyway. That to me is the ultimate sacrifice. And on that note, I would like to wish you a happy Easter. I hope you have a lovely break. I know that this is not the best time that we're experiencing at the moment, but make the best of it. The fact that you're on here, presumably in good health, your eyes are working, your ears are working, it's something to celebrate. Have a wonderful day, and I shall see you tomorrow. Take care. Same time, 3 o'clock tomorrow. We're back to the original time. Take care. Bye.